Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Retailing Management online classes. This is Dr. Mahesh M. Vanjeri, Assistant Professor from Department of Management Studies, SDM College of Engineering and Technology, Dharwad. Okay, so dear students, in the previous class, we started chapter number 5 from Unit 2. Okay, the chapter was about retail market strategy. So basically, though, we are going to consider what a retail market strategy is, what is a retail market, what are the elements of a retail market strategy, okay, like target market, then a retail format and its retail mix, and sustainable competitive advantage. Okay, so the strategies and the theory, okay, that is put into text is based on the practices by the corporate. Okay, but since the author cannot put the strategy of only one company, they study strategies in the industry or across the corporate world, and they write in general the generic strategies that are widely practiced. Okay, so that is the reason sometimes students are unable to understand that the news articles what they read are also part of the same subject and same topic that are being taught. So this chapter deals with retail market strategy. Okay, so before I continue the discussion, I would like to briefly discuss couple of news articles that are related to retail market strategy. Okay, but it may not be exactly the same way as it is there in the theory part. Okay, the first news article I would like to share is okay. So I hope we can see the picture. Sharon, can you see the picture?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
You are to
So,
invest
yeah,
some dollars.
sorry.
Uh, no, sir, we are visible, sir. It is
Yeah,
visible, sir.
thank you. Okay, so
Okay.
we are already discussing about this news. Okay, so the first point of contact was the interview of Mr. Kishore Biani in the retail summit of 2019. Okay, if we can recall. Okay, then thereafter, one of the students, I don't remember exactly who it was. Okay, the Ashutosh, if I'm not wrong, okay, or some other student, he brought the news of acquisition of future retail by Reliance Retail Private Limited, if you can recall, for some 24,000 crore. Okay, then news continues. Okay, Silver Lake to invest $1 billion in a Reliance Retail, pick 1.75% stake. Okay, so this news was also briefly flashed. Okay, but it was when Silver Lake was intended to invest. So now it has happened already. So Silver Lake to invest $1 billion in Reliance Retail, pick 1.75% stake. Reliance Industries Limited said on Wednesday, US private equity firm Silver Lake Partners will invest $1 billion in its retail business, helping the Mukesh Ambani controlled company widen its lead as India's biggest retailer. So when Reliance Retail acquired Future Retail, okay, Future Retail was earlier the market leader in brick and mortar format. So when Reliance Retail acquired Future Retail, okay, so Reliance Retail becomes the undisputed market leader in brick and mortar format in India. Okay, so the strategy of Reliance Retail, the act of Reliance Retail to acquire Future Retail is nothing but a strategy. So I repeat, the act of or the decision of Reliance Retail to acquire Future Retail is nothing but a retail strategy. This may not be there in the book. Okay, but you need to connect. Okay, so and broaden the scope of the syllabus or subject. So the move also sets the stage for a three-way battle between Asia's richest man, Jeff Bezos, Amazon. Asia's richest man is Mr. Mukesh Ambani. Jeff Bezos is the founder and head of Amazon.com Incorporation and Walmart Incorporation's Flipkart. So I hope you know Flipkart was an Indian company acquired by Walmart. So look around you, what is happening? A lot of acquisitions and mergers. So acquisition and mergers is nothing but a strategy. Okay, so it is happening now in Indian retail scape. So what has happened? You can just see here. Okay, that Reliance Retail has acquired Future Retail. Both are Indian companies and becoming the market leader in brick and mortar retail format. Next, Walmart, which is the world's largest company, which is also a brick and mortar retailer. Okay, acquired Flipkart. Okay, and then Jeff Bezos, Amazon.com, which is okay, which has second highest market share in online retail companies. In online retail companies, Flipkart is the market leader. So now, if you look at the market, okay, kindly recall the words of Kishore Biyani. He says there is nothing like online retail, offline retail. Okay, customer can buy anywhere, okay, from where he or she wants. Okay, a customer is using now both the channels. Okay, they some products they prefer to buy online, some products they prefer to buy offline. So the boundaries between this online and offline is slightly disappearing. Okay, slowly, not very instantly, but very slowly disappearing. So if you look at the competition here now, the competition is going to be between, okay, Reliance Retail now, which is the market leader in India in brick and mortar format, and Walmart's Flipkart. Okay, so Flipkart is an online retailer, and Amazon. Amazon again is a online retailer. So it is so because, see, you consider one family, okay, or one household as a customer. Okay, the family or the customer has a limited disposable income to spend on branded merchandise. Okay, he cannot spend three equal amounts on Amazon, Reliance Retail, and Flipkart. Okay, so he will have a single budget which he is going to spend on his needs and wants. Okay, so these three now in this matter, in this context only, there are other retailers as well. Okay, but in this context, okay, the strategy of Reliance Retail, the strategy of Amazon.com, and the strategy of Flipkart is to grab the largest possible share of pocket of the consumer. So strategies will be devised in this manner. Okay. So, and one more thing, when we say Reliance Retail has acquired, okay, Future Retail, which was cash strapped, if you can recall, okay, they had some problem while Mr. Kishore Bain did not answer them properly during his interview. Okay, the company was debt ridden and its profits were not, okay, very good, and they didn't had money to invest in online retail. You can recall all that. So that's the reason why they agreed for the acquisition by Reliance Retail. But when Reliance Retail acquired, that does not mean, okay, Reliance Retail will also have a lot of resources. So they are allowing the private equity firms, okay, to invest in their company so that Reliance Retail can have funds to further invest in opening new stores. Okay, so this is one aspect. Okay. Uh, yeah, can you see this news, Prema?
Yes,
Prema.
sir.
LVMH drops. You can see this, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. See, this is at the international level. It's not in our country. LVMH drops $16 billion Tiffany takeover. Tiffany, okay, and company is a uh, on a brick and mortar jewelry store. Like in India, we have Kalyan, Malabar, okay, but Kalyan and Malabar are small format stores. Tiffany is a large format store, okay, jewelry store. So LVMH is a French luxury goods giant. Okay, the products will be mostly designed by well-known designers. So LVMH, which is the French luxury goods giant, said it would walk away from its planned $16 billion takeover of US jeweler Tiffany in the most high profile example of a deal to face collapse following the COVID 19 pandemic. So, this deal did not happen. Okay, LVMH has planned and decided to acquire Tiffany jewelries for $16 billion, but due to the crisis arising out of COVID-19 pandemic, LVMH has decided not to acquire Tiffany. Okay, so for more details of the company, you can always visit the website. You need not go to America or France. Okay, you can just visit the website of the company to know the size of the company. You can also browse these companies in Fortune 500 or Fortune 2000 list. Okay, so again here one more acquisition. Okay, okay, one more acquisition. A French retailer is was planning to acquire American retail chain. Okay. So then this is one more news from India. Apple to launch first online store in India. Okay, so most of the people who are not aware that online never had its own online store in India. So this is for the first time that Apple is going to launch its first online store in India. So if any of you have purchased Apple mobile phones, that is through another e-tailer like maybe Amazon, Flipkart or some other e-tailer. The store to go online next week. Move will help for cash in on festive demand. Apple on Friday said it will launch its online store in India next week, offering its full range of products to customers across the country for the first time. A move that will help tech giant cash in on the festive demand. See, opening an online store of its own in India, it is a strategy, retail market strategy of Apple. Try to understand. So why they are not coming to brick and mortar format? See, these are most expensive phones in the market, and the market is very small and scattered across the country. So in the brick and mortar format will be more expensive, and the online format will be more economical. The cost will be very low, and but reach will be wide. So Apple's decision to launch its first online store in India is again a retail market strategy. Okay, so I hope you need to understand the concept. Then one more news, e-tailers may log record $7 billion festive month sales. This is the forecasting. Okay, that e-commerce companies are expected to post nearly 50% jump in gross sales to $4 billion this Diwali, a 2-year high during the festive day sale events of Flipkart, Amazon India, and others, according to the latest estimates from market research firm Red Seer. Okay, so but you need to understand it's not only Flipkart or Amazon. There is Snapdeal. Okay, and many more online retailers are also competing for the same market. And not only online retailers, customers will not only buy from online retailers, they will also buy from brick and mortar stores, the regular store formats, which are available in their own cities and towns. Okay, so each company will be trying to grab the maximum share of pocket of the customer or household. So each company need to devise its own strategy in order to capture that festive month sale. So if you look around, actually everywhere what you read is more of strategy itself. Okay. So if you have any questions regarding this, okay, definitely at the end of the session, we'll have second session today as earlier. If we can have more discussion on that. But with this background, let me go ahead to chapter number 5, retail market strategy. So you should have a broader context now. You have a broader context. Okay. So your scope is widened. I'm going to make a new share now, that is PowerPoint slides. Yeah. So students, can you see the PowerPoint slide?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so this is chapter number 5, retail market strategy from unit 2. So far we have learned briefly learned elements in retail strategy. The elements in retail strategy means company the totality, okay, the way some HR students might be here, like we said in a compensation strategy, the totality of the decisions taken with respect to objectives and the four policy choices forms compensation strategy. Same way, okay, the decisions taken with respect to target market, retail format and retail mix, and sustainable competitive advantage forms a retail strategy of a company. So briefly we have learned about them. What is the target market? Okay, what is the retail format? And we have also learned in chapter number 1 what is the retail mix and what is sustainable competitive advantage. Okay, so I gave you the example of Ginny and Johnny. Target market, retail format, and basis for building sustainable competitive advantage. Okay, so we were here. Yeah, we have learnt about what is a target market and a retail format. So I have learnt about what a retail market is. Okay, it is a group of consumers with similar needs. It's a segment of consumers and a group of retailers that satisfy those needs using a similar retail format forms a retail market. Okay, so exhibit 5.1 in next slide illustrates a set of retail markets for women clothing. Okay, so you can consider it the fashion segment. Within that, conservative segment is one market. So look at these companies: Charming Shop, Family Dollar, Dollar General, and Rose Stores are in one market, which is serving to the needs of conservative fashion consumers. And this is the second market within women's apparel fashion segment. Traditional, the consumers who prefer to wear traditional fashion apparels. The Gap, the Limited, Talbots, JC Penney, Kohl's, Macy's, Kmart, Walmart, Target, and TJ Maxx. Okay, so these form one more market within a broader market, that is women's apparel. So if you look at this, there are more number of companies in this segment, traditional segment. Okay, the competition is very high. And in fashion forward, there are Wet Seal, Urban Outfitter, H&M, Saks Fifth Avenue, Bloomingdale's, then Neiman Marcus, Steinmart, Butterfly.com. Okay, these all are in fashion forward market. So this is what a retail market is. And what are the retail formats? If you look at this, Charming Shop, The Gap, Wet Seal, and all these companies have a specialty store. Now, dear students, we have already learned the type of retail formats or the type of brick and mortar retailer. So we already know who is a specialty store. JC Penney, Macy's, Saks Fifth Avenue, Bloomingdale's are department store, large format stores. Then Family Dollar, Kmart, Walmart, Target are discount stores. Okay, so that is why I said while explaining the types of retailers, each retail format has its own target market, its own retail mix element, and its own sustainable competitive advantage. Okay, and Rose stores, TJ Maxx, Steinmart are off-price retailers. So that was all about retail market and the target market and retail format. Okay. Next, we have already moved on to sources of competitive advantage. So in the previous session, I mentioned that the sources of, you can consider them as sources of positioning and differentiation. Competitive advantage means positioning and differentiation, which we have learned in semester 1 marketing management. So, but I prefer to use this term competitive advantage so that you don't get confused. So, a company can acquire competitive advantage, means an advantage over the competitors by way of these sources, and these sources are broadly classified into more sustainable and less sustainable. Means if a company adopts these sources, okay, to acquire some advantage over its competition, they will last for a longer period of time. In the short term, it is not possible for competitors to copy them. But if the company uses these less sustainable sources, like more merchandise, greater assortment, lower prices, okay, its competitors can quickly copy these sources and match the original company which has been trying to adopt these sources to acquire a competitive advantage. For example, lower prices. A competitor can also immediately reduce the prices and do and undo the effect of a lower price of its competitor. More advertising and promotion. Okay, your competitor also can spend more on advertising and promotions. So that way. So now let us consider a few of these sources from more sustainable sources. Location. So in the previous class, I was explaining about location of Reliance Market. Reliance Market is a warehouse club format. Warehouse club format is a large format retail store which is into retailing as well as into wholesaling. Now, what is the location advantage of Reliance Market? Okay, first of all, it is outside the city limits. In Hubballi, Reliance Market has one store which is outside the city limits in an area called Gabbur Cross. So it is away from its competitors. Okay, it's away from its competitors. Okay, it is away from city, but still how it managed to get demand? As I said, it is into retailing as well as into wholesaling. Large households, rich households, rich families, okay, who buy in bulk. Okay, they go in their cars, okay, and they buy their monthly grocery from Reliance Market. Okay, they get a huge discount. They get to make more savings compared to buying from a supermarket or a hypermarket. And other than that, Reliance Market also sells to, they are into wholesaling. They sell to other Kirana stores as well as to small restaurants, canteens, and so on. Okay, so now it is not possible for a supermarket or hypermarket to go and start a store away from city because supermarkets are usually opened in the neighborhood area, residential areas. Hypermarkets generally are opened either in neighborhood areas, residential areas, or in shopping malls or in central business districts. That is the market area. So that is how location of Reliance Market gives it an advantage over its competitors, as its competitors simply cannot go near to Reliance Market and start a store. That model will not be sustainable for them. Then customer loyalty. Yes, definitely I would vouch for it. See how a retailer earns or a retail store earns by way of repeat visits made by the loyal customers. Okay, think about the Kirana stores from where your families have been buying monthly groceries. Okay, try to recall. Okay, so more or less in most of the cases we buy from the same Kirana store or retailer. So that retail store makes business, okay, by way of the repeat visits of the loyal customers. As along with that, they go on adding new customers and their sales grow. And even the loyal customers also continue to spend on new products, new categories of products. Okay, so if a retailer can acquire customer loyalty, if a retailer can acquire customer loyalty, so this cannot be copied by the competing companies or competitors. Okay, because the way the retailer has acquired the customer loyalty by way of maybe unique merchandise, exclusive merchandise, customer service, or location, it cannot be easily copied by a competitor. Okay, so you can recall. Okay, now you can share at the end of the class. Now let me share. See, I am a customer of Raymond shop since 1998. So it's almost 22 years now. Okay, so I have not changed the brand, and I also give for stitching in the same Raymond shop. I don't give it outside. So 22 years now, I don't think of going to any other fabric shop or any other tailor. Okay, then I am the customer of Kirana store, from where I buy my monthly grocery near my home since last 13 years, 1 3. Okay, though there is a supermarket in my area, but I don't prefer to go over there. Okay, let me share a very interesting thing. How my the Kirana store from where my family buys monthly grocery has retained my loyalty. Okay, the Kirana store owner. Okay, there are some unique customer services which he offers that are not offered even by more supermarket in my area. First thing is straight away 5% discount. Whether I buy a single unit, or monthly grocery, straight 5% discount, and on some merchandise like cosmetics, he gives even up to 10% discount. Okay, that is the first thing. So more sales now, more or less. Okay, all the merchandise on MRP. Okay, so rarely they give discounts, and that too on private labels, not on national brands. Second, okay, my Kirana store owner, he provides home delivery, and more store does not have home delivery service. Okay, in my area. Third thing, okay, my Kirana store owner, he gives a credit. Credit does not mean for months together. Okay, so we give a list of items to the Kirana store owner. He packs them and makes the home delivery along with, okay, the bill. Okay, and we check whether the merchandise is received as per the list or not, and if there is any deviation, we check. Then we go back and pay. Okay, it takes around 3 to 4 days, sometimes up to 5 days also. Till then he waits, he doesn't call for payment, so we can consider that as a credit. Again, this service is not available in more. So dear students, please try to understand. Okay, it may be there with you also. You also might have experienced the same, how your retailer might have gained your loyalty. Okay, then customer service is some of the customer services I mentioned now during explaining the loyalty, like credit, home delivery. Okay, and discounts may not be, because we say lower prices, okay, are less sustainable sources of advantage. Okay, but this, okay, that there is a difference between the Kirana store, which gives discount to me, and more store. More store adopts a high-low pricing strategy. Means only during offers like Wednesday or some other days, okay, the merchandise is on discount. Otherwise, they sell it on MRP. But the Kirana store from where I buy, he adopts everyday low pricing (EDLP), which is actually pioneered by Walmart. But only this gentleman doesn't know that he adopts everyday low pricing. Any day, any item you buy, 5% discount. Okay, so that is how I can say, like the way Walmart has is undisputed market leader globally. Okay, so my Kirana store owner is also doing very well using the same concepts, see what I'm teaching, but only thing he's not aware about them. That's it. Okay, then exclusive merchandise. Okay, exclusive merchandise is some unique goods which are available only in that store and not available in competitors' store. Okay, simple example what I can give is the private labels. Okay, so private label of the retailer. Okay, so let us say if you like the brown bread of more store. More store has its own brand of or private label breads, variety of breads, milk bread, brown bread, whole wheat bread, sandwich bread, fruit bread, okay, and multigrain bread. 6 types of bread they have. Okay. Now, see, if I want to buy that bread, I have to go to more store. So let me tell you also that though I buy my monthly grocery from the my favorite Kirana store, that does not mean I don't spend on more store in my neighborhood. Rather, I end up spending more, okay, on more store, because more store sells some merchandise which is not available with other Kirana stores or other retailers. Okay, like for example, I said these kind of breads. I regularly buy whole wheat bread without fail. The next, okay, chicken sausage, chicken salami, these products are nowhere available other than more store. Okay, and other than that, Nandini Good Life milk. Okay, definitely this Good Life milk is not available anywhere in my neighborhood except than that in more store. Then what happens is when I go to buy these items, I don't buy only these items. I also buy some other products. Okay, like Gillette foam, for example, Gillette. Okay, Fusion Power cartridges. Okay, then body sprays, Brill cream, hair cream. Okay, many other products. Szechuan sauce, for example, mayonnaise, for example. Okay, these are unique merchandise. I won't call them exclusive or unique that way, but they are not available in other neighborhood stores. So I'm also a loyal customer of more store in my area. So these are more sustainable sources. Okay, how a company can lose its competitive advantage. I'll give one more example. See, the main one of the major reason why I used to visit more storage for the milk. Okay, and Nandini Good Life. It's a pasteurized milk. You can keep it without refrigeration for 190 days. Without refrigeration for 90 days. Believe me. Okay, and it tastes very good, high quality thick milk. But once you open, you need to refrigerate it. and consume it within 5 days. You need not boil it before consuming. But now that milk is available, okay, just behind my house there is a Nandini milk parlor, small one though, but Nandini Good Life is available. So it's quite a days since I had visited more store. Okay, so this is, dear students, how things work out when we talk about developing competitive advantage over its competitors. This is all about for a store, huh? Remember, more store, big bazaar, Reliance Smart, Reliance Market. Okay, we are talking about these stores. How these stores can have an advantage over their competitors. Then there are other sources like they are less sustainable. If the company develops an advantage over its competition using these sources, but in due course of time or in very short period of time, its competitors also can copy it. For example, more merchandise. Okay. So competitors can also make more merchandise available at its store if that is one of the reasons why customers are walking into a store. Greater assortment means more varieties. Yes, of course, your competitor can also maintain a larger variety as like your store. Your competitor can lower your price, lower the prices. Your competitor can spend more on advertising and promotions. Okay, so though initially a store may have advantage on these sources, but their competitors will match them in no time. That's why these sources are referred to as less sustainable. They will not last for long. So these sources of acquiring or having advantage over competition are not suggestible. But though, dear students, I mentioned you how lower prices has made Walmart world's largest company, not just a retailer. Try to understand. Okay, but there is a big story behind it. Walmart supply chain. Okay, and Walmart had its own IT. Okay, solutions. They develop their own softwares. They don't outsource them. Okay, and they have their own fleet of trucks. They don't give it to third party transport company. They have their own warehouses, inventory. Okay, so try to understand. This is exactly, if you can recall, what Mr. Kishore Biani was trying to explain, that his future retail also owns the world's largest supply chain, if you can recall, from manufacturing to customer. Okay, but anyway, I don't know in what context he said world's largest supply chain, but Walmart definitely, no doubt. Okay, is world's largest company, Fortune number one company, which is the brick and mortar retailer. So I can imagine, okay, the potential of retail market globally as well as in India. Okay, so as and when the organized retail penetrates deeper into Indian retail market, more and more foreign, okay, and also when, see, but that will happen only when organized retail firms will have money to invest in retail market. Money to invest means they should have money to open newer stores, hire more employees, pay them, buy from the vendors. And as we have learned, most of the Indian companies do not have that sufficient funds to invest, to start new stores, to hire new employees, to pay to vendors when they purchase merchandise. Okay, that's why. Okay, uh, and Reliance Retail has been acquired by Reliance Retail, and Reliance Retail now is attracting investments from global investing firms. So this is all happening because the foreign direct investment in multi-brand retailing is not allowed in India. Though it is allowed, but the terms and conditions are so that no foreign retail chain is interested in entering into Indian market. So it is a way of protecting domestic retailers. But in online mode, e-commerce 100% FDI is allowed. That's why Amazon is in India. Walmart is able to acquire Flipkart. Okay, so recall that. Okay, so 3 minutes are remaining before I go for these growth strategies. So I would like to take your questions. Okay, and I'll schedule one more meet. In that, I will go for a discussion. I'll take attendance and then I'll go for a discussion. Yeah, your questions you can ask. Yeah, students, to ask questions, you need to unmute your audio. Yeah, any questions or would you like to see? I briefly discussed about 4 news, which are also retail market strategies. Yeah, do you have any questions, dear students?
No, sir.
I'm scheduling the next meeting. Yeah, okay. If you do not have any questions, then let me end meeting here. And I already shared the link for next meeting. Okay, kindly join quickly. Okay. So I'm going to
Okay, sir.
yeah, I'm going to end meeting. This meeting I'm going to end.